The pilot provides a pathway to permanent residence for experienced, non-seasonal workers in specific industries and occupations. It will run until May 2023. To apply for permanent residence under the Agri-Food pilot, you need eligible Canadian work experience in one or more of the eligible industries and occupations, a full-time, non-seasonal job offer from a Canadian employer in one of the eligible industries and occupations outside of Quebec, to meet or exceed the language requirements, to meet or exceed the educational requirements, to have settlement funds if applicable, to maintain temporary resident status if already in Canada. Eligible industries.
Industries are classified by the North American Industry Classification System. Your employer needs to include the industry code in your job offer. Eligible industries under the pilot are meat product manufacturing NAICS 3116, greenhouse, nursery and floriculture production, including mushroom production, NAICS 1114, animal production, excluding aquaculture, cattle ranching and farming, NAICS 11-1, hog and pig farming, NAICS 11-2, poultry and egg production, NAICS 11-3, sheep and goat farming, NAICS 11-4, other animal production, NAICS 11-9. Eligible occupations.
Occupations are classified by the National Occupational Classification (NOC) code. Eligible jobs for each eligible industry. Meat product manufacturing NAICS 3116 eligible jobs are NOCB 6331 retail butchers, NOCC 946 industrial butchers, NOCB 8-5 farm supervisors and specialized livestock workers, NOCD 9617 food processing laborers, greenhouse, nursery, and floriculture production, including mushroom production. NAICS 1114 eligible jobs are NOCB 8-5 farm supervisors and specialized livestock workers, NOCC 8-31 general farm workers, NOCD 8611 harvesting laborers, animal production, excluding aquaculture, NAICS 11-1, 11-2, 11-3, 11-4, and 11-9 eligible jobs are NOCB 8-5 farm supervisors and specialized livestock workers, NOCC 8-31 general farm workers. What are the application limits by eligible occupation?
There are annual limits on the number of applications that will be processed for each eligible occupation. Starting on January 1st of each year, applications will be processed on a first-come, first-served basis. This pilot will last for 3 years.
Who can apply? To be eligible, you must have eligible work experience, have an eligible job offer, meet or pass the language requirements, and meet or pass the educational requirements. Prove you have enough money to settle in Canada. If applicable, have maintained your temporary resident status. If already in Canada. Work experience.
You must have eligible Canadian work experience. Your Canadian work experience must be a minimum of 1 year of non-seasonal, full-time work in the past 3 years, at least 1,560 hours, in one or more of the eligible occupations listed under one of the eligible industries. Through the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, a Labor Market Impact Assessment (LMIA) with a minimum 12-month duration must have been submitted by your employer when hiring you. If you're not sure, you can ask your former or current employer about the duration.
Open work permits.
If you currently have an open work permit, but you used to have a work permit through the Temporary Foreign Worker Program, you may have eligible work experience. However, any work experience you gained while holding an open work permit does not count.
Do count the hours worked in full-time jobs. The hours can be in different eligible occupations and with different employers. The hours must have been worked over a total period of at least 12 months. Note, working more than 30 hours per week does not shorten this period.
Don't count hours you weren't paid for volunteering or unpaid internships. Don't count hours worked when you were self-employed. Don't count hours worked in part-time or seasonal positions. Don't count hours where your work was not authorized by IRCC.
Job offer.
You must have a genuine job offer. The job you're offered must meet all of the following requirements.
The job must be in an eligible occupation listed under one of the eligible industries.
The job must be full-time. This means you work at least 30 paid hours per week.
The job must be non-seasonal. In general, this means you have consistent and regularly scheduled paid employment throughout the year.
Your employment is permanent. This means that there is no set end date.
For unionized positions, the wage must be determined by the applicable collective agreement.
For non-unionized positions, the wage must meet or exceed the job bank's prevailing median wage for the occupation listed on your job offer, in the province of employment or at the national level if no provincial rate is available.
Your job offer must be for a job in Canada outside of Quebec. Language requirements.
You must prove your ability in English or French. The minimum language requirements are Canadian Language Benchmarks CLB, or Niveau de Compétences Linguistiques Canadiens and CLC Level 4 in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You must submit your results from an approved language test. These results must be less than 2 years old when you apply.
Educational requirements.
You must have at least a Canadian high school diploma or an Educational Credential Assessment (ECA) report from a designated organization or professional body showing that you completed a foreign credential at the secondary school level or above. The ECA report must be less than 5 years old on the date of your application. The original ECA report must have been issued on or after the date the organization was designated.
Settlement funds.
You must prove that you have enough money to settle in Canada. You will need to prove that you have enough funds to support yourself and any family members you may have, even if they're not coming to Canada with you. If you're already working in Canada with a valid work permit when you apply, you don't need to provide proof of settlement funds.
How to apply for permanent residence.
1. Complete the application package.
If you want to apply for permanent residence, make sure both your job offer and work experience meet the requirements. If you don't meet both requirements, your application for permanent residence will be refused. Avoid processing delays by sending IRCC a complete application.
Get ready to apply.
Read the instruction guide for important information about your eligibility, fees, and how to apply.
Get your checklist and forms.
Document checklist. Use your checklist to make sure you include all the forms and documents you need. Place the checklist on top as a cover to your application package.
Forms for the employer to fill out.
Offer of employment to a foreign national Agri-Food immigration pilot. The employer must fill out the form and give it to you to submit with your application. You must read and sign the declaration at the bottom.
Forms for you, the principal applicant, to fill out.
Generic application form for Canada. Schedule of background declaration. Schedule 1 Agri-Food immigration pilot. Additional family information. In Supplementary Information your travels.
Forms for you, the principal applicant, to fill out, if applicable.
Additional dependents declaration. Separation declaration for minors traveling to Canada. Statutory declaration of common law union. And use of a representative.
Tips for downloading and filling out the application forms.
Make sure you have Adobe Reader 10 or higher and JavaScript is turned on. If you have trouble downloading, right-click the link and choose Save Target As. Fill out the form on your computer instead of by hand. It's easier and reduces mistakes that can cause delays. The Schedule 1 and job offer forms must be filled out on your computer. Fill out, print, sign, and date your application forms. IMM0008 is a barcode form. Make sure you validate it and submit all the pages. Click the Validate button at the top or bottom of the form. Validating the form before printing makes sure that you have answered all the questions. This will help you to avoid delays in processing your application. One or more pages with barcodes and a signature line will automatically be created. Print, sign, and date the form. Use white, high-quality, and non-glossy paper. Use a laser printer if you can. Place the IMM0008 form, including the barcode page S, on the top of your application package.
2. Get your fingerprints and photo taken.
If you're between 14 and 79 years old, you need to give your fingerprints and photo biometrics for every application for permanent residence you submit. Even if you gave your biometrics in the past and they're still valid, you must pay the biometric fee when you submit your application. Otherwise, you may experience delays. Get this done as soon as you get the letter from IRCC that tells you to give biometrics. You have 30 days to do this from the date on the letter.
3. Pay your fees online.
You can pay your fees in different ways depending on the fee type and where you are paying from. Answer the questions to get the payment instructions.
4. Submit your application.
Mail your complete application to the address in the instruction guide.